Oh, who wants me to turn this the other way? You can't turn your phone while recording. Whoops. Let's try this again. Cancel. Oh, maybe it's working. Hopefully we're not sideways. We're about to find out if we're sideways, but hello everybody. Oh yeah, my hat. I'm here with Estelle. She's my little helper today. And we're excited to talk to you about how to shop toxin-free during the holiday season. So that's going to be really fun. You excited to help me? Okay, so we've been doing a lot of toxin-free things. I can't see your eyes very well, so let me say, there we go. This is Estelle. She's my daughter. And we're going to talk to you about a couple different things with toxin-free stuff, which has been really exciting. And do you want to hold this up? And specifically, my book. So if you have not gotten a copy of Turn the Bottle Over, and I'm pretty sure everything's kind of flip-flop for you, but it says Turn the Bottle Over, off of Amazon. It is free as a Kindle download today through Wednesday, so make sure you grab it. You do not need Kindle Unlimited to get it. You're going to, and you won't be able to get it in the app. So if you're trying to get it in the app, that is not going to work very well for you. You have to be like on your browser on your phone or on your computer because they don't let you download Kindle books off of the app. So what you do instead is under like the Kindle box, it'll say like, you know, buy now. It'll say, you know, subscribe to Kindle Unlimited to get this free, or buy now for $0.00. So you want to click the buy now for $0.00. And that will get delivered to your Kindle device. And you don't have to have a Kindle to get it. You can just have a browser on your computer, but it's a nice thin. You want to show them how thin it is? You can hold one. Yep. It's a nice thin, easy read, a couple chapters in there. And do you want to open up to the very back, sweetie? It has even a nice little shopping list here. Do you see this page here? Find that page. Yep, you can hold that up and show everybody. It's got a nice little blacklisted ingredient list so that when you're shopping, you can reference this, and we'll talk about a couple of these tonight during our workshop, which will be fun. All right, so let me share with you a little bit about why this is important to us. A lot of it is my model here, my friend and helper today. So she and my kids have been a big inspiration for choosing more toxin-free options, and especially around the holiday season. Do we get a lot of gifts?
Yeah.
Do we give a lot of gifts to people? Yes, we do. So we're shopping for a lot of things, and there's a lot of fun, cool things that are out there that are exciting for kids or grown-ups, right? And so sometimes it can be hard to know like what specifically to look for when you're shopping. And so this is our thought would be a really great time and convenient time as we're all out there purchasing gifts for people and making lists for ourselves too of what we want and what we'd like to give, just to be more aware and conscious consumers of the things that are out there. So I'm hopeful that after this little workshop tonight, you guys can take away some helpful information. Feel free to leave some comments. I can't see any comments though, so on here, so I'll have to respond to them a little bit later, but please do interact with this. This would be really great to be an interactive conversation as best as can. And I'll be, as soon as we're done recording, I'll come in and respond to any of your comments and questions that you have. So please feel free to submit some questions. So about a day or two ago, I did a question on my page about some of the main categories that we would see as common Christmas gift items. Gift cards are a big one. What are some other things that we are like, you always get every Christmas?
Toys.
Toys, yeah, for kids, toys is a good one. That is a good one. So we're going to talk about toys tonight. What else is a big gift category?
Makeup.
You think makeup? Yeah, a lot of people, especially grown-ups, but even kids, sometimes like little makeup things. I see those in Target and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about those because that can sometimes be misleading labeling. And especially with kids, we want to be careful because they can absorb a lot more of these ingredients into their bodies more rapidly than an adult can with like mature detox systems. So it's a little bit more careful, and part of the inspiration for me was to be able to create an environment that's as least toxic as possible without being super stressed about it. So we're doing a pretty good balance of that, I think. What else are some other categories? Any guesses?
Like maybe toothpaste or snacks.
Snacks. Ew, that's a good one. Do we get about a lot of candy and dessert stuff in the holidays? Yes. So we're going to talk a little bit about ingredients and some those things. A lot of times people like to give that to their teachers and things like that. What's this?
Pans.
So kitchen things, right? So kitchen stuff a lot of times are also like little kitchen gadgets and things like that. Are
Maybe like cutting boards.
Oh yes, that's a really good one. A really good one. And maybe I should have you go get the cutting board, our new one that we got recently, because that is a really fun one that we'll get to talk about. So some of the categories I'm going to cover are clothing too, which we haven't talked about, but that's a big one. Usually people give out sweaters or clothing for kids. Kitchen gifts are kind of nice, fun things, at least in our families. We like to give different kitchen gifts. Toys, personal care stuff does come up. Sometimes people get gift cards to like Sephora. Oh yes, there's a cutting board. Good job. We'll talk about that again in a minute. Thank you, my dear helper, for helping with me with that. And then also little stocking stuffer things like your toothpaste or your chapsticks, right? So we're going to talk about that as well. So why is this important? So this is, I'm going to try and find this in page, where I tried to label these all ahead of time. You guys, has anyone heard of the term body burden? If you are familiar with that term, let me know in the comments that you are familiar with that. Okay, so body burden, and you've probably seen it a lot in the news lately. There's been a lot of talk about toxins and stuff, a little bit more recently because of the election cycle. But I want to read to you from this page here. This is page 4 and 5 from my book in chapter 1, Why Are We Dying Before Our Time?
Body burden
isn't something that just jumps on you like a virus. It is instead an accumulation of things that are constantly getting introduced to your system and body over the course of time and building a burden of foreign substances and chemicals in your system. It can come from the air you breathe, products you put on your skin and hair, things you're eating or that are added to the food. There are so many sources. So each chapter I kind of look into different like sources of these things and how you can kind of mitigate that effect in your body. So this is just a really easy beginner's guide. So if you're already on the toxin-free, non-toxic train, there'll probably be some information here that's not new to you, but some of it will also probably surprise you. I also really tried, because I think a lot of us can go down this path of like, well, everything in my house is toxic. There's like, what's the point of even trying to do anything different? But what's amazing is just the little 1% changes that you can do over time. And I'm still not perfect at it, but each little percentage, or when we go to buy something new, I kind of do a little bit more research because of the information I now know. Or also when I run out of something, or we're going to like purchase this or that, we kind of research it a little bit more versus just assuming that everything is safe because it's being sold to us on the stores. So let's talk a little bit about specifically what happens when things get put on our skin or on our body. If you think about, this is a really great example of like a bathtub. Did the boys take a bath tonight?
Yes.
Yes, they took a bath. And how big is the drain?
Like that big.
Yeah. And does the water come out really fast or kind of slowly?
Fast.
Yeah, well, when it comes out of the thing, but like when it's draining, does it kind of go slow or does it go
slow?
Yeah, so think of that of like our bodies. So our bodies, we can put a lot of things into it, like a bathtub. Like you could fill it up with lots of water. And then you have certain pathways, right, that can help you detox stuff. So let's say you're getting a little bit of toxic exposure from the food you're eating, a little bit from your shampoo, and a little bit from your deodorant, and a little bit from
your makeup,
and a little bit from, you know, the kitchen products that you're using, and all this stuff combined. Maybe something in the office, the fragrance that's getting, you know, perfume. Oh, perfume's usually a big category. We didn't even mention perfumes because we don't usually get perfumes in our house.
Grandma does.
Grandma does like to do that, yes. But she tries to look for good quality ones. And so those kinds of things all accumulate with that body burden concept. And then your body only has so much pathways that can get detox that, right? So think of that as like the little drain. So if you've got a bathtub full of all of this stuff coming into your system and only a small way of getting it out, then that can be tricky. So Something that we try to do is just to mitigate what comes in, because you can't eliminate everything, and just be okay with that, because I know what I can control, what I can control, and the things that I can't control, I don't worry about it. And I'm not a Nazi about it. We go to people's houses or all these things, and we don't worry about it, because in our home, we know we've taken a lot of great steps to mitigating that toxic exposure. So all right, so that's kind of a little bit of the reason why it's important. And especially if you look at all the statistics of rising diseases and chronic illnesses and unexplained allergies and things like that. Part of that, for me, I really feel like it's still yet to be proven. And so any little things that I can do to help mitigate that while it's still in process of being understood, I think it's great. So things are not made the same way that they were, even 50 years ago. So we've gotten a lot of interesting things over from the Industrial Revolution, and even farming practices have changed a lot since just like the late 1980s. And so the food that we're eating now?
Spraying food.
Spraying food?
So that the bugs don't get on it.
Oh, spraying food. Yeah, the pesticides. Yep, that's been introduced more recently. And then also like even what our clothing is made out of used to be cotton and wool and things like that. And now it's a lot more plastic and the polyesters and things like that. So all those things are miniature exposures to hormone disrupting products, which is, there's a lot to be said about plastics and things like that in our environment as well. Okay, so let's talk about some common Christmas categories. Okay, so number one, clothing. We're already talking about this. Cotton is definitely going to be more of a natural fiber that you can use. Organic cotton is definitely something I like to look for in labeling. I also like to look for a label called Eco-Tex. It's like a label, which means it's been kind of tested to be like both environmentally friendly, but also like safe fibers for you. Also, something I try to avoid is flame resistant flammable materials. And if any of you guys have watched that, and why that is because spraying that stuff on, the flame retardant stuff, those kinds of chemicals, and flame resistant things, or water resistant stuff, is also the same chemical, forever. It's called a forever chemical, and those you can also find in nonstick cookware. And there was the biggest class action lawsuit in our history of our country was over these forever chemicals. And you can look up a documentary. It's called The Devil We Know, and then they did a live action movie about it too called Dark Waters. And that's from the company Teflon. So that one, it was a forever chemical. It was a really eye-opening documentary for us when we looked into that and learned about that. And it is for a lot of families because we've all actually at this point have these chemicals that can't really get out of our system very well. So though that chemical is also part of like flame resistant, flame retardant things. So if you look for labels on especially kids clothing, I try to avoid that with especially my little ones, because I just don't really want them exposed to the chemical on the fabrics there. It's also a good reason why we always wash our clothing right before we ever wear it. Well, you know how Mommy likes to do that. Yeah. Wash all the new clothes. Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes a tiny bit.
Sometimes not. Again, we're not a Nazi about it. All right, so clothing, that's what I would look for. When you're shopping for clothing, for gifts, look for cotton if you can, look for wool, look for those natural fibers versus polyesters, and then also avoid the fire retardant, or the fire resistant fabrics that have been sprayed with extra chemicals. Okay, next up is, you want to hold the prop? What is this? Kitchen gifts. Okay, and then you should bring the cutting board again. So, speaking.
I thought it was already here.
Oh, it's already done. Oh, yeah, right. I moved it over here. Thank you. You want to hold up the cutting board? Okay, so
the plastic cutting boards they can get, and then get into your food.
Yes. So the little microplastics. So like, have you ever seen when we like cut on the plastic part of our plastic cutting boards? Oh, you want to show? Okay, she's going to show you. So along the same lines, so as I was talking about the Teflon and the non-stick cookware, which is a dream for like keeping things not sticky, it does have that chemical, which you start to consume right as you're eating things. Hi, Kelly. And so for us, we switched to stainless steel. And so that's definitely like when you're purchasing gifts for people, I would look for stainless steel options. Oh yeah, she wants to show you all those grooves. And then with plastic, like cutting boards and stuff and gifts, like one of the things that they are finding is that all these little, you've probably seen all the grooves, all the microplastics end up in your food. And plastic has a lot of phthalates, which can be hormone disrupting chemicals. And we've been seeing a lot of hormone disruption in our culture and in the American lifestyle over the past generation or so. So that's something we tried to avoid. And we found this one, which was really fun, just like on Amazon, I think, where it was like buckwheat. And so I'm much more comfortable like with micro pieces of buckwheat getting into my system than the hormone disrupting plastic. But on the other side, it was
magnet.
It's not magnet, it's a titanium. It's called titanium. Yeah, but it's a metal. And so this is, I can still put this in the dishwasher, which is really nice versus like the wood. And so this is if you still like to, if you like to cut meats and stuff, this is still a great option for you. So there's lots of alternatives, which is great for when you're looking for kitchen gifts and things like that, which is kind of popular more like between family members. Okay, so then glass is also really great for kitchen stuff. Sticking with more glass versus plastics, because plastics in the microwave, all those things heat up and can leach into your food. So yeah, she's going to bring you some glass options. Something to be aware of, and a really great account to follow is called Lead Safe Mama. She does a lot of testing. Here, yep, she brought a glass. So we use a lot of glass in our house because of that. But you can, there's something to be aware of with purchasing dishes and mugs. Even for teachers, mugs are like a really popular gift. You want to go get some mugs? You should get one of our mugs that are the ones that don't have like a color and white on the inside. Those are our Corelle mugs. So mugs a lot of times will have paint. So things that have paint on them the concern with painted stuff is, and printing is lead. Okay, so especially things that get made in China where there's less regulation. So like this is, especially, I'm sorry to say, but a lot of Starbucks mugs have been tested and found to have higher than normal levels of lead and heavy metals in the paint part. So if you're buying mugs for people, highly recommend getting, and I need the other one, the one that doesn't have any, it's like a dark blue and a light teal, that have been tested or don't have paint and stuff on the outsides or the insides. This is one from Corelle that was tested. Let's say if Mama did test this type, and it came back within safe levels. And so I like following her, and she usually has lots of great recommendations of things that she's been able to test outside of. It's because a lot of these companies do not take the time to test for some of these manufacturing processes, and a lot of contamination can happen just in the manufacturing pieces, or just because of the paint on the outside. So looking for things that don't have paint on the outside, or that at least on the inside, that could end up being consumed. That's going to be a lot safer for you and a lot less toxic, and eliminate some of that body burden with gifting kitchen stuff. Okay, so then let's talk about toys. So toys, there's a ton of plastic toys out there. How many of you have had a ton of plastic toys? So something to look for with toys would be to look for less plastic, look more for wood toys. Melissa and Doug is a really great option. Also the Lead Safe Mama has done a lot of testing on those too. The paints and stuff come back really good on their levels, whereas other companies, especially if it's from China, a lot of the times you're not going to have as great regulations on the manufacturing process and the pieces there. So, and I apologize, there's a cat in the back too. And so those are some really great options to choose for. And usually parents, this man might be speaking for myself, tend to appreciate those longer lasting durable toys that will last a kid or two, and less of the noisy toys as well. So that's been really, really great. Oh, are we going to bring some options? So we've got this, this fun little bumblebee. It's more of a wood, mostly wooden toy, and our boys have loved this. And then we've got the example of the noisy plastic toy, because we're not Nazis in our house. But thank you, Azelle. Okay, so let's talk about candy. So candy and holiday stuff. One thing I thought was really interesting recently, I saw that Bob's Red Mill baking powder advertised that it had no added aluminum, which was really fascinating because I didn't realize that that was like a thing, that you add aluminum to baking soda and powder. Oh, that's not what I was talking about. She's bringing me the whole bag of flour. And so looking for things like that, look for labeling. But you could use like a baking powder or soda that has does not have that in it, which would be a little bit healthier for you. Also looking at the ingredients list on the back. So like we can take a look at this. This has so things that avoid like artificial dyes. If you can avoid artificial dyes, that's a really great thing. And as they have found correlation between artificial dyes and a lot of hyperactivity and some neurological stuff. So that's something that you can kind of in general try to avoid, is artificial dyes. And they can make candy and stuff without artificial dyes and with real like fruit concentrates. Trader Joe's usually has some good options.
When we went to the Jelly Belly factory, they had actually like real.
They used some real purees in their thing, which I was surprised. I thought it was all going to be like artificial. You can scoot in a little bit more if you want to. So like this is really great too, because the ingredients are pretty simple on the back. You just turn it over. Thus the name of the book, Turn the Bottle Over, right? So you just turn it over. There's some ingredients here. And it says like cane sugar, tapioca syrup, invert sugar, water, modified cornstarch, citric acid, dextrose, natural flavors, sodium citrate, color added, which is fruit, which it's saying is fruit juice, vegetable juice, annatto extract, and spirulina extract. Spirulina gives it a blue color. So that is a lot better option for you. It's still sugar, but then some of the other candy options out there. So they're going to be relatively comparable price points. So for me, it's always worth just take the extra, 20 seconds, 30 seconds to turn it over and check and see what kinds of ingredients are there. And those are much great gifts to give than stuff that's full of a lot of junk. Okay, so then another thing to look at is like a personal care stocking stuff. So, a lot of people put stocking stuffs in their stocking stuffers, like toothpaste or lip balms and things like that. And so those are really great ways to also decrease your toxic load by looking for ones. Again, look at the labels. You can reference the label guide. You want to find that ingredient guide in the back of my book again that you can show them. That have some very common, more toxic ingredients to avoid before you purchase them. Now keep going. One more page. Yep, there you go. That one, you can show them that one.
But there's 2 of them.
Yeah, and I put 2 in there. That's a really good point. I put 2 in the physical copy of the book.
So one you can cut out.
Yes. Look how smart my daughter is. So you can reference this list. You can take a picture of it. You can cut out the second page if you get the physical copy and take it with you in your purse.
And then the cut out page.
Yep, there it is. And so that's really great options. So just a personal swap that I would do with like lip balm, instead of doing lip balm, I would use like getting Crunchy's Hydro Gloss lip oil in a glass packaging. It's almost like, you guys, size wise, they're not much different. It's a little bit heavier, and I know the ingredients from this brand are really amazing. So this is actually,
and they look pretty.
Does it look pretty? Yeah, we're wearing them today. Yay! And so these are also on sale right now. And so that's the really great thing about this time of year. Yep, these 2 colors, the darker one. And they have some other colors too, and some other glass packaging. And something I love about this brand is that it is a really toxin-free brand. And it's where I've learned most of my information about toxin-free and shopping for ingredients was from this company. And they're really pioneering in the cosmetic and skincare arena for really toxin-free stuff. Like, they didn't have eyeliner for a couple years because they were really careful with the ingredients and wanted not just something safe, but also that worked and performed at a professional level. Toothpaste. Yep, we like to use that toothpaste. And so there's a lot of options for toothpaste too out there, like Dr. Bright. There's another one that's Rise Well is a really great one as well. And so just looking at the ingredients, like the biggest point, if you could take away from this workshop, is to turn it over, look at the back, and check for certain ingredients. I'm going to read to you a sneaky ingredient that comes into a lot of these non-toxic, toxin-free things, especially when you get into like skincare and cosmetics or personal care items. They'll say like, oh, it's paraben-free and it's fragrance-free. Fragrance is probably my number one thing that I try to avoid, just because it's an industry loophole. So you're going to get like, you could have like hundreds and hundreds of ingredients.
Ads that were like these like spray bottles that you spray.
Oh, the
everywhere?
like Febreze ads.
So that you can
Smells
smell
better
good.
in the bathroom and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are not so great. We try to avoid those. We like to use essential oils instead. And there's even soy-based candles. Candles are another really big gift around the holidays. And you can find soy-based candles versus the regular paraffin wax ones, and that are using like essential oils for their fragrance versus artificial fragrance. And you can even find perfumes that are not using phthalates, which is a big thing in she likes our little plug-in wall essential oil diffuser. You don't like it? Well, I think it's cool.
You said I like it.
I do. I like it. Yes. Thank you for bringing me it as an example. But I want to read to you about an ingredient from chapter 2 called phenoxyethanol. And this is, and so chapter 2 is probably one of my favorite ones because it talks about a lot of these like common ingredients to look for. The biggest one is like the big F word, which is fragrance. And so it's that one ingredient can stand for over 3,000 different chemicals, most of which have been linked to a whole slew of health issues, including cancer. So this is another big reason why I was hoping to do this workshop right now, is if there's almost all of us know somebody that's battling cancer right now. And so when we're gifting them items, it's a really thoughtful and kind thing to be aware that their body is more sensitive right now. They could be going through chemo. It's also already under attack from the cancer cells. And so giving them more things that could compound what's happening in their system can be difficult. So finding ways to give them gifts that are less toxic is a really beautiful and loving thing to do. So in fact, and here I'm going to keep reading from this. It says, in fact, a recent article looked at how the science is showing that the effects of fragrance on our lungs is similar to that of secondhand smoke. Goodness. And we aren't just talking about perfume. Like you can find that in like consumable liquid personal care products, like hand soaps. Spray paint?
Yeah.
Does it have fragrance?
No,
Well, it's got chemicals.
I mean like the stuff that you don't want in your lungs.
Yes, that stuff we don't want in our lungs. So that's fragrance is a big, like, I look out, turn the bottle over. If I see fragrance in it, it goes back on the shelf right away. And so our skin really is the largest organ. And so what we're putting on it, there was a study that showed that within 26 seconds, 66% of a product's ingredients can get absorbed into the bloodstream of your body through the skin. That was really mind blowing. And I have like, there's a quote in here from one of those studies. Parabens is a big one. PEGs, PEGs, polysorbate, phenoxyethanol is the one I wanted to show you guys. It's this really, and it's going to be backwards for you, but this is a sneaky one, especially in stuff that's advertised as non-toxic. So this one, it's like really hard to say, but it's frequently found in natural formulas and things that are advertised as natural. And it is really important to realize that these terms are not regulated. Okay, the FDA does not regulate these terms. In fact, like I think they said that you can claim non-toxic. Oh, I don't have it highlighted in here. It's in one of these chapters, but you can claim something as non-toxic if the active ingredients, we're not even talking about the inactive ingredients, so the other stuff in the product, but if the active ingredient did not produce fatal results in testing of like rats or mice or whatever they used, in like more than like 49 or 50% of the test subjects, which means that like that active ingredient, as long as it didn't, kill off, more than half of the mice that you tested it on, could be considered non-toxic, which is not how I would interpret non-toxic. Yeah. Oh, thank you, honey. So phenoxyethanol, it's also, it's kind of started replacing like parabens in a lot of formulas, because companies are getting the feedback from consumers because consumers are voting with their dollars. It's one of the biggest ways we can impact change is voting with our dollars, and seeing that we're not purchasing some of these products anymore because we're becoming more educated. And so they have been switching out parabens for like phenoxyethanol, but it is not without its risks. So even in concentrations as low as 1%, the American Society of Contact Dermatists has listed phenoxyethanol as a core allergen. It's also been linked to neurotoxicity. So that's, and I have a quote for that at the back of the chapter as well. So that's something to look out for when you're shopping for personal care stuff, even in, you know, lip balms and things like that, all that stuff. You're going to be probably ingesting some of that. So it's really important that that stuff is really safe and not toxic. And so because of that, I am also super excited to be able to give you guys a little fun giveaway, specifically with the Crunchy brand, which is where I've learned most of my information from. And I really love how much education they've put out for. So I actually have a couple products from them. I've got an facial SPF and, oh, where's the other one? And a night cream. This is an advanced night cream, so it's youth activating facial cream is what it says on here. And so my experience with this, yeah, that was just an example. It comes because I love the glass bottles that they put in it, because if you have a toxin-free formula going on, you don't want to put it in like plastic and then it gets hot on your shower and in your bathroom and all the steam. Yeah, this is the tinted SPF. So
and these samples.
And yes, Mommy can, if you're local, I'm happy to give you guys out a sample if you'd like to.
You mail.
And
or give them.
Yes, I have mailed some as well.
This one.
This is probably my favorite one. It's a really great gifting one. This and the night cream. And I wanted to tell you my personal story with this. And I can't claim like physical cures of anything, because that would not be FDA compliant. It's not a like pharmaceutical product. It's a skincare product. But when my son Simon had some eczema on his back, this was probably must have been 4 or 5 years ago. I tried all the like natural remedies that I knew of at the time, coconut oil, some mixed with some lavender and everything. And the only thing that worked to clear it up within like a week, actually, it was pretty amazing, was the nighttime facial cream from Crunchy. And I was shocked. I was like, what? I applied it like once or twice a day the first couple days, and then just once a day after that. And it like completely cleared up and didn't come back. And so I was really surprised by that. And so that's probably my favorite product from the company. But then the second favorite is definitely the exfoliator with the hyaluronic acid in it. And so it's a really great giftable item too. These are, I like using this as a gift for people. But I love everything's in glass. The ingredients are really solid, non-toxic. Even the cosmetics, so like the pigments in here have been third-party tested for heavy metals, and so that's a really big thing to look for, like in any kind of cosmetic brand that's using pigments, whether it's in lipsticks or eyeshadows. Is to find out if they've done third-party testing for those heavy metals, because that's where a lot of times where you'll get that from is the pigments and the titanium and oxides and dioxides and stuff that are being mined. Sometimes in that manufacturing process, that's where you're going to get a lot of the contamination in the product itself. So I really love this brand. So I wanted to do a giveaway for you guys for listening to this fun presentation. So in order to get entered into the giveaway, I just I've got one SPF, facial SPF, and then a night cream in advance. And to get entered into that giveaway, you just have to let me send you a cart that I've of Crunchy products that you'd be interested in. So you just let me know in the comments. Or
maybe like this.
Oh no, that's samples. This is like a real thing. This is a real one. And so this is a real full-size product. So how it would work is, yes. So you let me know what you're like looking for, interested in gifting or getting low on in your own supply, like whether that's a toner or a facial, cream or makeup for a friend or a daughter or something like that. And I would send you a link to a cart, and that's it. You don't have to purchase anything, but just take a look at it. And just by me sending you a link to the cart, you get entered into the giveaway. So, which I will pull like the day before Black Friday, so we've got a week to get entered into that. So that's a fun little thing because it is a brand that is near and dear to my heart, and I love to share just really great options, and I have some extra stock to give away. So hopefully that's exciting for you. Feel free to share this with a friend too if that's helpful. And just a reminder that this book is free. It's a free Kindle download. I wrote, this is the second book that I published. I've published 4 books now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Almost 5.
Almost 5, that's true. I'm working on a 5th one. It is free to download on Kindle for the next couple days. Oh, you're sitting on my leg. Ow. Thank you. So if you can go on Amazon and find that, that's really great. Another great thing about right now. Oh, what are you doing, honey? Can you leave it there for a minute? Okay, that was my notes. Is that during the holiday season right now, you're going to see a lot of things go on sale. So sometimes a lot of people will say that Toxin-Free is really hard to like save on, and it feels like it's expensive. And so I usually stock up during the holidays. So even with like just maybe not very giftable things like laundry detergent, this is my favorite, right? It is not like a...
It's not tied.
It's not tied. It's true. It's not tied. It's from a brand called TrulyFree. They're not a direct sales company at all. But they do these refillable packets. So this is the same bottle I've had this whole time. And you just you fill up the bottle of water here and you dump the packet in. And they're having a really great sale right now. So if you need some laundry detergent, it smells good. And it does not have fragrance in it. It's just a natural fragrance from some essential oil blends, which is really amazing. But you can also get it unscented because I know I do have people that are really sensitive to smells and fragrances. So highly recommend this one. And I do have, they gave me a coupon code to put in my book. It's called, so you can go on their website and just use all caps, the home front, to get 30% off on their website. But also, oh, she's bringing me some more things. Yes, the laundry booster from them.
No, it's not the laundry.
It is. It's a laundry machine cleaner.
Oh, I thought it was the stainless steel. Oh, I'll go in.
It's okay. They do have some really great Black Friday deals right now too. Things like you get like 250 loads for a little over $30. And so that's a really amazing deal. So I like to save up, and they're like easy to store. Like you don't have to store a bunch of bottles. I love that. It saves me space. It's also better for the environment than lots of big plastic jugs. And I'm not the kind of person that likes to make a lot of my stuff myself, but that's another great way to save on toxin-free things, is to make things yourself. And that's a huge thing to be said in the Christmas time, is like lots of people like things that you've made yourself, whether it's a jam, you know, or
like
even bath bombs. Yeah, we made
bath bombs.
Those are great options for cheaper toxin-free alternative gifts.
But you can make them.
Yes, you can. You can. You can. So anyways, that's kind of our whole spiel here tonight. I hope that was helpful for you. And I hope the landscape mode worked as well. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. I will go through the comments and respond to any of them that you guys have. And then I'm probably, if this did not get posted all simultaneously to Instagram, then I'll probably be doing this again tomorrow night for all of you guys on Instagram. So thank you so much for watching, and happy holidays. Can you guys say bye? Oh, and I forgot to tell them about the, I have a website. So if you want to look up options like perfumes and candles and things like that, you can go to the homefrontblog.com, and I'll put a link in the comments. You don't know what that is. That's okay. It's a website. And so there's a tab called Safe Swaps, and it's got lists of like personal products, baby products, all these things. And you can go through, and I've listed and linked a bunch of those on that website, so you can find some options if that's helpful for you. And then also, I do have a Facebook group as well called The Homefront. And it's in there. I frequently share different toxin-free tips and ingredient education, or things to avoid, or celebrations of like, hey, this company just did this. Isn't that so great? And so I'll put a post and link to that group as well if you'd like to continue to learn some more outside of the book and social media works for you. So, all right. Well, you guys have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.